district is about to test a child, a preschooler, for special ed programs, they might use multiple different types of assessment. One of them might be a transdisciplinary play-based assessment in which the child actually gets to play, and sometimes they'll be playing with a play facilitator, someone on the floor playing with them, and part of the time they will involve the parent and play with the parent on the floor as well. During this assessment, the parent is typically involved through playing with the child and also answering questions and being allowed to ask as many questions as they want about the play that's going on and what kind of information they are gathering from the child. So I encourage parents to definitely ask if they're not being told what is happening with the child. If they have any questions, this is a good time to ask about what kinds of information they're gathering from the child, why they're doing what they're doing during the play session, etc. Then the other type of assessment that they might use, or they might use a combination of them, is they would probably do a traditional standardized assessment as well. And that would look like a child sitting at a table one-on-one with an assessment person. All right, look. This is a P. Can you show me a P? There's a P. Where's the other P? Let's turn the page. So that's just a one-on-one testing and with a preschooler and a book, and asked to point to or name lots of things in a book and assessing their cognitive abilities usually, but other abilities as well. Now point to the thing that I say. Point to the tiger. Very good. During a play-based assessment session, there will be lots of people in the room. The parent, of course, somebody playing with the child, the play facilitator, and then there will be multiple other assessment staff sitting around, either around the room or around a table, jotting down information that they are gathering from the child. Sometimes they'll have a protocol on which they will put the information and checking off things that the child can do, writing notes about what the child can do. Sometimes they will just write down the information and then later compare it to a developmental sequence to see where the child is functioning in multiple areas. So this group usually includes a speech therapist, might also include an occupational therapist, a physical therapist, sometimes a nurse, and some other assessment personnel, whatever is needed for that child. If a child has an auditory impairment or a visual impairment, a teacher for the children with auditory impairments or visual impairments would also be included in that team. The best way to prepare your child for an assessment is to get him familiar with multiple people. Do your best to get him comfortable with meeting new people and still being able to show his best work with a new person. That's usually the hardest thing to get past, and is to build rapport with a kid quickly and then immediately get him to show you what he can do. Also, just gathering all of the information that you have on your child and bringing that with you, whether that be medical information or previous assessment data. All of that needs to be presented to the assessment team as early as possible during the assessment so that they have a better information about your child during assessment. Something else that parents can do to prepare their kids or prepare for an assessment is to make sure that they have recent vision and hearing screening. That will be asked for at the assessment, and if the assessment team doesn't do that on your child, it would be great for you to come with it to the screening or to the testing, because that's something that has to be looked at for every child, is vision and hearing. So the toys that we use during play-based assessments include fine motor activities, and such as writing and drawing, and blocks for stacking, etc. And we look at that to really see what fine motor skills they have. Can they manipulate the blocks? Can they motor plan well enough to get the blocks to stack without falling over? And we also look at gross motor toys, such as playing with balls. And we look at the bubbles. We do the bubbles for sensory activities, and we also do bubbles to see how they react to sensory input, and also to get them to request more, get them to request help if we can't get the bubbles open, etc. So we use the bubbles for multiple things. We look at lots of things with each one of the toys that we use. We also give a lot of wait time, if possible, in between activities to give the child a chance to show how he transitions naturally, he or she transitions naturally, and also to give the child a chance to verbalize a little bit more on their own if they do, or vocalize on their own. Videos of what your child can do at home are wonderful, especially if you suspect that when the child is with with people that they don't know, they may not perform as well as you expect them to. So this is a good way to show them what the child can do, and they can actually use that as part of the assessment as well, especially for language evaluations.